Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I have an album that I want to make, and this is something that I would do behind the scenes. I'd get everything ready and then I would get ready to do my video and do my demonstration video on how to put this album together. However, I thought today I would take you through my preparation. If you want to make this album, then you'll know exactly what I'm going to be using and what you need to do to prep for the next videos. Okay, so let's go through the die sets first, what I'm going to be using. So these are my Simply Made Crafts mini album dies. So I'll be using the small ultimate binding and spine die set, the portrait album die set, and also the portrait album die set editions. So this comes with all the extra pockets. So this one will do all your base pages, and if you do get a few pocket options here and the index tab. However, on this one we have the ornate shaped pockets, we have extra flaps and corner pockets and tags and a few extra words as well. So I'll be using those three die sets there. These are available individually or as a bundle, and I'll link everything down below from what I'll be using. And this is the Alice in Teal 8x8 collection. Now I have worked with the 12x12 collection and I will show you that album in a moment. This is a lovely luxury pad here, so there is there's gold foiling as well. So this is a miniature version of the 12x12 that is also available. Let's get to the good bits. However, the elements here that are cutouts, they are slightly different in the 8x8 version. You do get some the same, but you do get a few different ones too, which I absolutely love. The teal and the gold foiling as well. So I really need to make myself one of these hats, actually, with one of my top hat dies. That would make a really good Mad Hatter hat. Okay, so that is the Alice in Teal, and I'm thinking, I'm not fully committed yet, but I'm thinking of using this mint green by Crafter's Companion. This is from their Centura Pearl collection. It's 310, so it's quite sturdy. So I'm thinking perhaps maybe I could use that for my base pages with the Alice Wonderland page colours on top of that. I think that goes quite well. Let me quickly show you the other album. Now this one here was made using my landscape album dies and the landscape editions with the large binding. So I've got the small there, but this one was made with the large binding. There is a full tutorial available for this mini album. That is down below. It's exclusive to Craft World. To watch the videos, the tutorials for this, you don't need to be a member. You can just pop along and have a you know, have a look. But it's got the pockets here, so with the editions you get all of the pockets as well. I had so much fun making this. Now I made this in celebration of World Book Day, and it was just so much fun to make, and I just love these papers. So I use the 12x12 papers here, and I've got all the cutter parts there too. So we have places there for photos and more pockets as well, and there are pockets at the top, but I thought I glued them shut, but I haven't. So there is space in there for more bits and bobs if you have lots of photographs, especially if you've had a fancy dress or a themed wedding. This would be absolutely perfect. And these open out, and I just had so much fun making this. And I think my favourite bit is the gold spine on there, which I'll be making a miniature version of this album we're prepping for today. So I think I'm committed. I used white for this as my background base, but I'm going to do something a bit different. I think I'm definitely going to use the mint green. Right, so you are going to be needing some white chipboard, no, just ordinary chipboard. This is 1mm thick, and in my previous video I showed you how to cut these out. Let's pop them aside. So I've measured those exactly for the album that I'm going to be making. So let's get all of the card out. I like to just pull it all out so I can just play and grab I'm hoping this video isn't going to be too long, so I may just forward or skip some of the laborious repetitive things. So I'm going to just be showing you what I'm doing and how many I'll be cutting. So I need to cut 6 of these. Now this die here is from the portrait album die set, and it's going to fold it in half. So it's going to do the score line in the middle. That's going to fold in half, and you'll have a pocket page. So I need to make 6 of these. And again, I will have an offcut here, which I'll be saving for when I decorate the album. Okay, so I have 6 of my pages cut out now, so all I have to do now is fold the score lines, and I am going to use a bone folder for this as well. And the bottom tab just there, so you can have this glued on the inside, but I do find that sometimes this bottom tab here kind of stops the insert going down all the way down to the bottom, so I have started to put it on the outside just like that, but it just needs a little bit of help going over there because it wants to puff out at the top. You can get by this just by trimming this off ever so slightly. Just a hair, and then that will fit perfectly. So I'm going to do this on all of the 6, and I'm going to be using Cosmic Shimmer glue. Okay, so I have my 6 pages all ready to go, and I just need to take a measurement now. You can either manually do this, or you can take the measurement from this die here. It depends whether you want to use this die or not. Sometimes I find it easier just to cut the mat out using my paper trimmer, but we do have this die there that will mat your page exactly. There we go. So if you don't want to manually cut it, I mean, I have had customers say to me before, especially when I was at the NEC show a couple of years ago, saying they wanted more mats to cut out for the projects that I have. So I have mostly mats now for all of my dies. However, if you prefer to cut, you can just cut, because this is just a simple rectangle. So let's give you the measurement for that. So I just love the fact that we have the option there, whether you prefer to manually cut or use the die. Obviously on some of the shape dies you're going to have to use the die. So that's 3 5/8. I think it's by 6 1/8. No, it's 6 exactly. So that's 6, I've forgotten the first measurement, by 3 5/8. So let's have a quick look at the papers now. Okay, so in this video I will be doing the papers, well, just cutting them out, and I'll also start to fussy cut some of these as well, and I will probably be mixing them with some of the elements that I have left over from the 12 by 12 pad. So we have the top hat, so I can use all of these as well. So I didn't use everything. I have the watch there, I have some lovely blue roses there too. So that is the next stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out one of each page just to get me started. You can take the whole pad apart. I mean, I had one 12 by 12 piece of paper left over from this album here. I literally killed that 12 by 12 pad, which is such a good feeling that there's hardly any leftovers and you use most of it on the album, because I'm going to be using these papers here to also mat the pockets and using them in my other bits and bobs on decorating. So some of you like that, the way I say bits and bobs. I've had comments before saying, oh, I love the way you say bits and bobs. Okay, let's put this away. I'm going to use just grabbing it. I'm just going to quickly use my Tim Holtz one. I don't need to get my super massive paper trimmer out for this. So I'm just going to cut these at, what was it, 3 5/8. I'm just going to double check that. I put the die away. I'm always double checking my measurements. This is why it's probably best to use the matte die, because containing numbers in my head, there you go, 3 5/8. Containing numbers in my head is not one of my strong points. So that's 3 5/8. I could probably go across and cut that at 6 first. So I'm going to get 2 out of this. So let me show you a quicker way on the next one. And before I go any further, I'm going to test my mat, make sure I cut it out properly. There we go. And if you want a slimmer border, just take a 1/16 or an 1/8 inch off your measurements. Okay, let's pop those aside. Let's show you the quicker way of doing this. I'm going to cut this at 6 first, so it's less cutting if you do it this way. And that's 3 5/8, and the 3 5/8. The 5/8 is really easy to do because it's the next larger notch off the 3 1/2. That's 3 5/8. So I now have all these to do, and I need to do, so there's 6 here, I need 12 sides plus choose right now before you get started which paper you would like on the outside of your album. So this one is slightly different, I have just noticed, because it's the opposite to the heart. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this for the outside. So I use the hearts on the front and the lovely damask pattern on the back. So I'm going to set these two aside before I do any more cutting for my pages. I mean, I should have done this first. Let's pull that out as well. There we go. So it's going to complement this album quite nicely. There we go. Let's put that aside as well. Okay, so those are hidden, put aside so I don't accidentally cut them. So now I'm just going to go through and cut all of my pages. Okay, that's all my papers cut out, but I'm not going to pop these on until my pages are inside the album. Right, that is the pages, and I'm just going to pop these aside. I will be keeping these, I'll put them in a plastic wallet, I think, just to keep those safe. Oh, got a stray one. Okay, let's pop this back. I'm going to be moving on to the binding now. So here it is. Here is the small binding. And if you're wondering about the third set, which is going to be the pockets, I think I'm just going to address that when I actually decorate the album, because at this point I'm just doing the bare backbones and album prep for that. I haven't made any of my big decorating decisions. I just want to get to the point where I have my album assembled and I'm ready to decorate, raring to go. Okay, so in this die set you get 3 dies. Now this one here is what is going to make this lovely gold spine cover. So I won't be cutting that just yet, but I will be showing you exactly what I will be using to cut it with, and I'll be showing you in the video which one I'll be using. So again, Should I go for, let's just have a quick look at my construction. So this is where I'm making all of my decisions now, so you get to kind of get to know my thought process. I'm going to use this at the back here, so it will be visible here in the center, and I'll have it the color facing in because it's white on the back, which will be hidden by the spine. So I'm going to do it that way. So what you need to do is you need to cut, I'm going to go through this way actually. Again, this one will go through a smaller die cutting machine, but I don't really want to cut my paper up. Okay, so you need to cut one of these and 3 of those, and then when we get to it, 1 of these. Alternatively, you can cut this from the cardstock too, if you're not going to go, if you don't want to go down the gold route. Okay, so we have a larger one here, and if you're wondering what these notches are, this length here is the length for the portrait mini album. However, we have more cuts here, so you can size this to other albums in my range. Okay, I don't need that one anymore. I just need to do 2 more of these, and then we can move on to the gold piece. Okay, so I've got 3 of those and 1 of the larger one, so that's ready for assembly. Again, I'm going to keep the off cap for this, chop that off, and then I'm going to keep this one and recycle this one. Okay, so let's move on to this gold piece now. So what I have is this Sizzix texture roll. If you've used Craft Text or anything like that before, this is exactly pretty much the same thing, except it's been coated in gold, and I've run this through the washing machine, so it's all lovely and textured, and it has that beautiful feeling. Otherwise, it's smooth like this one here. I think I have another one. Let's have a look. I have this also in rose gold as well, so this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be super smooth. Let's see if I can get it out without tearing the box. I don't like tearing boxes as I open them. I don't know why, I just don't. Let's pop this out. As you can see, this one it hasn't got all of these wrinkles here. However, it does scratch and mark quite easily. That's why I like this look here, because you can do that and it doesn't make any marks. It's already been distressed. But the one thing is, when you do wash it, it does shrink round about by 1/4 of an inch. This is a 12-inch long width roll, and it has shrunk by about 1/4 of an inch. So it does shrink in the wash. If you were to screw this up as well by hand, you can get this look just by doing this quite a bit. It will still shrink because all the extra, the size has kind of gone into the folds here, so that's why it's shrunk. It's just all folded up, all that space has gone into the folds. Okay, that's enough rambling on about that. So I'm going to cut this. I have this piece designated for another project actually, so I don't want to use this side because this is a straight side. I want to keep that side straight, and this one here is the cut side. So let's pop this on. Just going to trim this out. I have so many projects that I want to be getting on with, and it's almost the end of the Easter holidays now. Oops, I cut a bit far there. Oh, let's just keep going down. So I have lots of videos that I would love to bring out to you guys, not just the mini album dies, but also paper bag albums and travelers notebook journals and things like that. I have so many ideas, and I've already prepped quite a few of them. So the minute the Easter holidays are over, I can start filming. Okay. So let's run this through. The great thing about this is that you can wash it, you can ink it, you can stain it, you can cut it with scissors, you can also die cut it as well. So let's pop that through. Okay, so this roll here, these are available at Craft Stash, and they also have it in tan as well, and silver. So here it is in an ordinary tan colour, so lovely leather look there. So you can use that on my handbag dies too, and you can emboss it. It looks absolutely beautiful embossed. Okay, so I do have this offcut. I'm keeping this. This is like gold, I guess. Mind the pun. Okay, so I'm not going to keep that though. Let's put that aside, and that is what that looks like. So to get that prepped, so you can kind of visualize what I'm up to, the last score line here is the line that you need to fold on. There we go. Just make sure that it's straight and matches either side, and then you can press that down. And I find that this sort of covering just finishes the book off really well. So I'm just lining that up again. There we go. And there we have our covered spine, and you can just gently use your finger just to curve that. Just give it that round look. Now that is ready to go. I just absolutely love this. I think I'm just going to be using this on all of my mini albums. I think you can see how wonderful that looks. Absolutely lovely. Okay, so the last thing I need to do now, other than tidy up after myself as I go along, I'm trying to form new habits here. Last thing I need to do is find my pad. What I'll be doing now, I'll be doing this off camera, I think. Don't think you're going to want to watch me fussy cutting. So I have my fussy cutting scissors, just little ones here, little snips, and I'm going to cut all of these out. Some of these square ones I will probably go ahead and use my paper trimmer for that, and then fussy cut all of these out, and you get 2 of each one. Have I got this one out already? I do. So to start myself off, I'm just going to cut these 3 out. I'm going to leave these in there. I'm even going to cut these little hearts out as well. This pad is now ready for me to go back to, should I need some more, which I probably will do. I'm hoping to use most of the pad. So I'm going to fussy cut these out, so the next time you will see me in my next video, I'll have those cut out. We'll be putting together the binding. I'll be showing you how to then attach and cover the covers, the chipboard covers, and we will be popping in our pages and covering them. So I'm thinking there's another 2 videos at least for this album, because I don't want to overwhelm you and just do everything or cut everything short so that you're just getting this, that. So I kind of want that continuity that's detailed. Okay, so that is what I'll be doing in my next 2 videos. So again, everything that I'm using for this is listed down below. Go check that out. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you kind of like this preparation video that I'm doing, please do let me know down below in the comments, and I will continue to carry on with this one. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.